Hi, my name is Suzanne Caldeira with Guaranteed Rate. I'm a mortgage originator. But on Fridays, I've got my Fridays 5, where I talk to people that have inspired me throughout the years. Some people I know, some people I've wanted to know. And these views are mine and of my guests and not necessarily those of Guaranteed Rate. Today, I'm excited to have Shaun Graham, who is a gentleman that I've been connected with on LinkedIn for, I can't even remember how many years now. And throughout the years, as he's motivated me, I sent him messages and sent him some notes because I find him really inspiring. So I'm excited that he said yes to be on. And Shaun, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Awesome. So I'm going to jump into question number 1. I want to know, what inspires you?
Truly, what inspires me now is leaving something for my family. Now, I have 2 young kids, so that's very important to me. I just know how I started. I always tease all the time. Like when I first got into the business, I probably couldn't even spell mortgage, and my goal is to try to leave some generational wealth for my kids, so they can start with a leg ahead. That's something very important to me, and so that motivates me every day to keep pushing, trying new things, connecting, and being a positive influence. So another thing that's really important to me is, and the reason why I try to do videos and do a lot of posts through social media is because you just never know when your last day on this earth will be. And if mine is tomorrow, at least my kids will be able to read through some posts and see, hey, this is what Daddy was thinking. This is what Dad's mindset was. And what kind of drove that point home for me was I'm a big Kobe Bryant fan. And, his daughters some of his daughters may grow up and not really know who he was. They never get a chance to really know him. But they have endless content where they feel like they still know who he was and know his mindset, and they know, at least know what he looks like. So like for myself, I don't know what my great grandfather looks like. I never heard his voice. I don't know how he would handle situations. And for me, it's something very important to me that I leave something.
I think, in some of the stuff that you share of your mindset, I think it might be a good lead into my question number 2. And maybe this is what's made you, is what have been some defining moments in your life that when you look back, you say, hey, you know what, it was that one thing, or maybe a combination of things.
I can clearly say like a defining moment, especially in this career that I'm in right now. Growing up in a very rural part of South Carolina, where the median income is like probably $21,000. Like we didn't see a lot of successful businessmen, or entrepreneurs growing up. I ended up working in the NFL when I got out of college, and for a very brief stint. And when the head coach was fired, if you're part of his staff, you're let go as well too. So I had an opportunity to either go back home to Sumter, South Carolina, which I'm originally from, or I could come to Atlanta and give it a shot here. I gave it a shot here, got into the mortgage business, the mortgage space. But however, unlike some of the originators who may be watching this, my first couple of years in this business was not very successful. I came into the market when the market wasn't that great. And if you remember what I said earlier, I probably couldn't even spell mortgage when I got into the business. So I was in the process trying to learn every single program, every single guideline, every single thing that, so I want to feel very comfortable when I went out and sold the product. And by the time I got a chance to learn the products, the products were taken away overnight. And also my referral partners that I just got a really good relationship with and started sending me business, now they're no longer in business. So I was faced with a decision because, I'm younger. I'm probably like maybe 27, 28. And my parents are telling me, Shaun, you need to quit that job over there because it's a dead end job. You're not going anywhere. You got to think about your future. What are you going to do about your retirement? You should be further along in your career than you currently are. And I had a decision to make because I was a college graduate. And as a college graduate and coming from a military family, my family was pressuring me to go to the military because I can go straight into the military and become an officer. And with becoming an officer rank, you get a certain pay. But however, I had a mentor who always told me, Shaun, you're doing the right things. And he used to tell me this little, I used to call it a riddle. And he said, Shaun, this mortgage business will bring you to your knees, and then it will let you go. And it frustrated me for so long because I'm like, man, stop talking to me in riddles. I need to know if this is really going to work, because at this point in my career, my debt is more than my income. I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, and I got family pressure. And I understand, family pressure can be very critical. If you're actually trying and you're actually putting in the work and you don't see the results, it's very frustrating. And then on top of that, you got family pressure telling you what you should do. But I only had one person in my life, and it was my mentor, who was in a position that I aspired to be in. And I decided to take the road less traveled. So I didn't take the easy route. I took the unfamiliar route, and I decided to stick it out. And lucky for me, it turned around for me. And when it turned around, just like you said, the mortgage business will bring you to your knees, and then it will let you go. And once it let me go, I have not stopped since. I can say that's a defining moment where I had a chance to go right or go left. And my mentor always says, you get these chances maybe 2 or 3 times in your life to go right or left. You got to make the right decision.
I think that's powerful, because I do think a lot of times our families, and they might do it out of fear or not wanting us to fall on our face. That must have been tough, hearing that. Did it seem to you like, wow, they don't believe in me, or was it hard having that pressure to even find that belief in yourself?
It was very difficult. It was difficult, especially coming from my mother. My mom was pretty hard on me. But the thing is, it came from a place of caring. Just like you said, they didn't want me to fall on my face. They didn't want me to be homeless. They didn't want me to go through certain struggles. And I come from basically a working family, like a blue collar working family. So they understand, you can get out, you work, you earn your pay, you save a little money. My dad could teach me how to be, I call it economical. Some people call it cheap, but I like to use the word economical. He can teach me how to live very economical on a certain salary. But I just believed in myself that there's more in life for me out there. I just had to believe that for myself. And one thing that I encourage people to do now is that you have to get out and you have to travel. You have to get out and see. No matter what level you're at, you have to get out and see things. See how, this is something that is attainable. You put things in perspective. It's like, if this person can do that, I can at least make $100,000 a year. If this person can do that, I can at least do this. And I do believe that once you start elevating your circle of people, you kind of realize that everybody's not as smart as you think they are. A lot of times people just took more risk than you're willing to take. If you can struggle for that short time period and then get through that, people actually believe that you never struggled before, but only you really know that struggle. The skills that I learned in a time when I didn't have any money are still skills I have to this day, that I honed during this day, like maintaining a database, how to cold call on people, how to get people to say yes, going past a no. It's called it's called a sales loop, overcoming objections. I was able to do that because if I got this business to work for me, I had to learn those skills. Those skills that I learned in that very difficult time, those are life lessons that I can always carry with me, wherever I decide to go, wherever I decide to do.
That's great. That's definitely great, and so inspiring. I want to hop into my third question. I love asking my guests about their mentors, and you had mentioned your mentor, being someone that was someone that you could strive to be. Who are some other mentors that you've had in your life that you think have shaped you, Shaun?
I got mentors in various areas. So, I have mentors in business, and that's a guy who's our CEO for our company. His name is Caldeira. I think he took a liking to me because of my work ethic. And as a mentor, your number one thing is you got to make sure that the person is willing to do the work and the person is willing to listen, okay? Because you can mentor somebody and they don't even listen to you, and then you feel as a mentor, you feel like you're wasting your time. And one thing that that you can't get back is time. So whenever he divulged information to me and gave me either criticism or gave me kudos or gave me pointers, I took it to heart and I went at that, you know. So that's very important to me. My father is a mentor to me, you know, and I'm just like every other kid who, if you have a father at home, you're lucky enough to have a father at home. You go through those stages where you can't stand your father. You know, you can't have two men in the house at one time or perceived to be men. And then you realize around the age 23, 24 that, hey, my dad is not as, you know, dumb as I thought he was when I was 15, you know? And, you know, my dad, you know, he taught me, you know, how to work hard and how to be respectful. And those are things that, you know, I want to pass down to my son as well, too. And nothing beats hard work. And probably last but not least is a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm not sure if you know who Gary Vee is. So I've been a big Gary Vee fan for probably the last 8 or 9 years. And he's another person that gives away a lot of information for free. I always say when I watch Gary, he always talks about there's a 99.9% of you guys won't do anything with this information. There's always that 0.1%. I always say I'm part of that 0.1% of people. So he gives out the information, and then it's up to you to deploy that information.
Yeah, you can tell that they've made an impact, and it kind of is a good lead up to the next question that I love to ask guests is, you know, some of the people that maybe that you follow or any podcasts that you listen to, you know, what are things that you do maybe in your daily disciplines that have helped you, or those people, and maybe Gary Vee is one of them, or is there anyone else that you enjoy following or things to listen to?
So when I first started in my career, I used to always pose this question, you know, who motivates the motivator? As a motivator, you're still going to have days that you're not as well motivated. And you're going to be, if you're preaching in church, there's going to be sometimes you go to church, you don't feel like preaching, which is your responsibility, right? When I first started building my offices and teams and stuff like that, there was a guy named Eric Thomas. I used to listen to ET every single morning. Matter of fact, I used to make my whole office listen to him. And he used to have a segment called TGIM, which is Thank God It's Monday. Because it's like a slow shift in your mindset, right? Because most people, when they come into work, oh my God, it's Monday. You know, it's just like they're already upset over the weekend. But his thing was like, thank God it's Monday. I can't wait to get up. He's like, my passion wakes me up. He had a saying that says, no alarm clock needed. My passion awakes me. You know, and it's a shift in mindset. It's a shift in thought pattern. And I switch over to Gary Vee. You know, Gary Vee is kind of what I listen to. You know, I right now, currently, I'm doing a lot of listening to some Jeff Bezos, some of his speeches that he has. I'm into like a lot of investing, but more importantly, for my job, I'm trying to get better, you know? So I do a lot of educational, you know, YouTubing. So I tell people all the times, I go to YouTube University, because on YouTube, you can find out anything that you want to. If you want to be an investor, if you want to read balance sheets, if you want to learn how to do asset management, whatever you want to do, it's right there in front of you. You just have to take the time, watch it, learn it.
I think that's one of the beauties of the day and age that we're in. You think if we went through this pandemic in the 80s or in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, you look at all this technology and stuff that we have, it's pretty phenomenal when you shift your mindset and you look for the opportunities. And I think
Right.
we're in a blessed industry right now that, you know, there's a lot of people that are struggling, and we can make a huge impact. And I want to close this with my last. It's more of a statement. I want people to know more about you and how they can find you.
Well, people can find me. I'm on social, on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Mortgage Mamba, and yes, I've had that handle for many years. I always thought for years that I was the biggest Kobe Bryant fan known to man. I've held that title. Unfortunately, you know, everybody knows Kobe passed away this year. And I had the honor to go out to his memorial services in LA. I flew my whole family out and went to those services. And then I realized there's a lot of Kobe Bryant love in this world. And I'm not even the top 50% of Kobe love. LinkedIn is Shaun Graham. It's Shaun with the U. I always tell people the U is for unique. I'm located here in Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, I'm just I'm an average guy trying to do extraordinary things. I often tell people, you know, I came to Atlanta because I'm from a small country town. I came to Atlanta to take advantage of what everybody here takes for granted. When I say take for granted, and you can be in any city in the United States. If you're in LA, New York, you're in a big city, you are at an advantage over somebody who is in a rural area where there's not much opportunity. They don't get to see success. They don't get to see, you know, the things that you get to see. You don't take it for granted. You know, when you're sitting in a city who has, let's say you have 3 million people in your city versus you can go up in a small town that has 15,000, you know, and 500 of them your cousins, first, second, and third cousins, you know, and that's a large number. But you're at an advantage when you're in a city that's 3 million plus people. I want everybody to realize that there's opportunities all around you. Don't waste where you live. Don't sit in your house and say, woe is me. Get out and do something. It's right there available to you. I just want people to know there's no more excuses. The market is the market. You can make whatever you want to make. You can make it happen. It's all up to you.
I want to say thank you so much for being on here, Shaun. You have truly, truly inspired me throughout the years, and I totally look forward to following your journey, seeing your growth, and, you know, from having an abundant mindset. You know, we're competitors, and, you know, that's the thing is that I think the world is abundant, and that there's more than enough out there for all of us. And I do believe that there's more than enough out there for anyone that's watching this.